Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the idea of decluttering, especially as you age? Do you find yourself holding onto items because they carry too many memories or feel like they might still be useful someday? If so, you're not alone. For many seniors, decluttering is more than just tidying up. It's a journey of self-discovery, emotional reflection, and even letting go of a lifetime of cherished moments. But what if I told you that the process can also bring a sense of peace and freedom, and even rekindle long-lost passions? In this video, we're diving into what nobody tells you about decluttering in your golden years. You'll discover how to handle the emotional weight of letting go, why it can strengthen your relationships with family, and how to redefine what value means in your life today. We'll explore practical tips for pacing yourself, getting rid of the just-in-case mentality, and how to make your home reflect the life you want to live now, not the one you had years ago. By the end of this video, you'll have a fresh perspective on decluttering that goes beyond just clearing out space. It's about making room for what truly matters, now and in the future. So stick around until the end, because you'll leave with a deeper understanding of how decluttering can rejuvenate your life, bring clarity, and even inspire those around you. Ready to reclaim your space and find a renewed sense of purpose? Let's get started. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. 1. It's more emotional than you expect. When you've spent decades in a single home, the emotional weight of every item can be more profound than you ever anticipated. Every object seems to hold a fragment of your past, a small piece of a life well lived. That chipped mug sitting quietly on the kitchen counter? It's not just an ordinary mug. It's the one your spouse lovingly used each morning, the one that accompanied the scent of freshly brewed coffee and the warmth of shared conversation. The outdated dress tucked away in the back of your closet? It's not just fabric hanging lifelessly on a hanger. It's the dress you wore to your son's wedding, a day filled with joy, love, and hope that comes with watching your child take their next step in life. And now, when you begin the process of decluttering, each item pulls at your heartstrings, bringing with it memories both sweet and bittersweet. What no one tells you, what you don't expect, is that this process can feel like a deep, emotional grieving. You're not merely getting rid of things. You're letting go of parts of yourself. Each item is a reflection of the person you were at a particular moment in time, a version of you that no longer exists in the same way. You're also saying goodbye to pieces of your past, memories of loved ones who are no longer with you, and the subtle shift in who you are as you navigate this phase of life. It can be overwhelming, exhausting, and at times, heart-wrenching. You may feel an unexpected heaviness, like the weight of years resting on your shoulders. And that's okay. It's more than just physical space you're clearing. It's emotional space as well. It's entirely normal to feel the sense of being lost, to experience the overwhelming urge to pause, to breathe, and to take time to process these emotions. The truth is, this isn't something to rush through. It's a journey, not a task to check off a list. Allow yourself time to pause, to reminisce, and to feel the depth of each memory. Hold each item, and let yourself truly reflect on the story it carries. If you find it difficult to let go, permit yourself to preserve the memory in another way. Take a photo, keep it in a digital album, or even write about it. This way, you can keep the essence of what was, without holding on to its physical weight. I remember a woman who shared how she created a beautiful scrapbook filled with photographs of sentimental objects. This allowed her to keep the memories alive while releasing the clutter that weighed on her heart. Another woman mentioned how she found solace in passing down the stories behind her items to her children and grandchildren, transforming the whole experience into a legacy project, one that connected generations through shared memories and wisdom. In the end, it's not about the things we accumulate over a lifetime, but the memories we hold in our hearts. It's about cherishing the moments, no matter how fleeting, and finding peace in the act of letting go. 2. You're not just decluttering, you're decluttering for others. Decluttering as a senior is not just about simplifying your own life. It's about thinking ahead and preparing for the future, for those who will eventually have to sort through your belongings. It's easy to forget that, someday, your items, the little treasures you've collected over a lifetime, will become someone else's responsibility. For adult children, the idea of going through a parent's belongings after they've passed can be overwhelming. The process isn't just physical, it's emotional, too. You might picture your children, sifting through drawers, trying to make sense of the items that were once part of your everyday life. This is why decluttering now isn't just an act of tidying up. It's a profound gift to your loved ones, sparing them the burden of emotional and physical labor later. But here's something no one often talks about: the guilt. That heavy, gnawing feeling when you have to part with things that carry memories or seem too important to throw away. It can feel like betrayal, like you're erasing a piece of your story. And yet, deep down, you know your family may not want or need those items. It's a hard pill to swallow. There's a delicate, emotional balancing act involved. Trying to respect both your sentimental attachments to the things you've kept over the years and the reality that your loved ones might not hold the same emotional connection to them. The thought of discarding something you thought might be passed down through generations can stir up feelings of loss, of wanting to preserve what was once so precious. To navigate this emotional minefield, consider involving your family in the process. Instead of carrying the weight alone, open up a conversation. Ask them what they would like to keep, and why. You might be surprised at the things they treasure, or don't. This can be an opportunity to share the stories behind your most cherished possessions, creating a bridge between the past and future, between generations. And if that seems too difficult, perhaps write a note. A simple letter or memory attached to a beloved item can provide the connection you want to preserve. It's a way of holding on to the emotional essence of things without being weighed down by physical clutter. As you let go, you free not just yourself but also those you love from the burden of a future filled with difficult choices. It's a beautiful, though bittersweet, act of love, a way to pass on your legacy without the baggage. 3. Your definition of value changes. As you grow older, something shifts within you. Your definition of value evolves in ways that are both surprising and deeply personal. Things that once held great significance in your life might no longer feel as important. The fine china set that you saved for special occasions, once a symbol of status and treasured memories, might now feel like an unwelcome burden. It sits in your cupboard, gathering dust, a constant reminder of the future that never came, the future that your children, perhaps, would be eager to carry into their own homes. But now, as time passes, it becomes clear that the things we once held dear may not hold the same meaning for others, especially those who no longer share our reverence for them. It's hard, isn't it? Letting go of something that once symbolized love, effort, and care, only to find that the next generation doesn't have the same attachment. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. What no one truly prepares you for, though, is the emotional aspect of this process. The realization that decluttering isn't just about clearing physical space. It's also about redefining what value truly means to you today, in this chapter of your life. It's not about the monetary worth of items anymore, nor is it about holding on to objects simply because you think they will be appreciated by others. The real value lies in the practical and emotional resonance those items bring to your life now. You might find yourself battling with guilt, the guilt of holding on to expensive items that have sat unused for years, or the guilt of parting with something you once thought was irreplaceable, because it's no longer serving its intended purpose. But here's the truth, hard as it may be to accept. Your home is not meant to be a museum to the past, nor should it become a shrine for things that no longer serve you. Your space should be a place of comfort, ease, and joy, something that reflects the person you've become, not the person you once were. Letting go of those items can be incredibly freeing. It allows you to focus on what truly adds value to your life now. For instance, I remember hearing from a senior woman who shared how she decided to keep only the dishes she used every day. The rest, the fine china that had been passed down through generations, she donated to a young family who truly needed them. That decision wasn't easy, but knowing that her once cherished items found new life with someone who would truly appreciate them helped her release the emotional attachment without regret. So, take a moment to reflect on the treasures that you've held on to. Think about passing them on to people who will love and value them the way you once did. Whether it's family, friends, or even strangers through charities. It's not just about cleaning out your home. It's about making space for the things that matter now and allowing others to experience the same joy and connection that you once felt. It's a reminder that letting go isn't about loss. It's about giving, sharing, and embracing the future with an open heart. 4. Letting go of the just-in-case mentality. Letting go of the just-in-case mentality is one of the most challenging yet liberating steps many seniors face. I've often found myself reflecting on the time when I, too, held on to things because I couldn't bear the thought of being wasteful or not having something when the moment called for it. For many of us, growing up in an era of scarcity shaped our lives. We were taught that it was better to have too much than not enough, to save everything because you never knew when it might prove to be invaluable. That mindset, although practical at the time, can be a heavy burden as we grow older. The reality is that keeping everything just in case only leads to overwhelming clutter, a physical manifestation of our internal fears and anxieties. What many people don't understand is just how deeply ingrained this habit becomes. Even when you logically know that it's time to let go, your heart pulls you back to the past, urging you to hold on to things that have long since lost their purpose. It's often driven by fear. Fear of wasting, fear of running out, or the fear that one day, you might need something and regret having let it go. But let me tell you, that fear is not the path to peace. It's a roadblock that keeps you from embracing the joy and tranquility that a decluttered life offers. I know because I've lived both sides of it. The suffocating weight of keeping everything, just in case, and the incredible freedom that comes from letting go. There is a beautiful simplicity in owning less, in permitting yourself to breathe and to move freely through your space. One way I've found to slowly release myself from this, just-in-case habit is by limiting it to one box. You know the one. A small box where you place the items you think you might need someday. I revisit this box every 6 months. If I haven't used anything inside by then, I let it go. It's like a gentle reminder that the world won't end if I don't hold on to everything, and it feels strangely empowering to take control of what I choose to keep. I heard from one dear senior friend who shared how she turned this process into a joyful family bonding moment. She allowed her grandchildren to go through her just-in-case stash, giving them the first pick of anything they wanted. It wasn't just about getting rid of stuff. It became an event filled with laughter, stories, and memories. It reminded me that letting go can be a beautiful gift to others. Donating items to those in need not only clears space but brings a sense of fulfillment, knowing that someone else might be able to use and appreciate what I no longer need. So, yes, it's hard. But once you start letting go, you realize how much more room you have to embrace life with open arms, unburdened by the fear of what you might be losing. The act of releasing is not just about decluttering. It's about reclaiming joy, peace, and a life that feels lighter and freer with every step forward. 5. You need to pace yourself. Decluttering is more than just a physical task. It's an emotional journey that can leave you feeling drained and overwhelmed. As we grow older, we often feel the urge to take on big projects, convinced that we must complete them in one go. But this approach can easily backfire, leaving you exhausted and disheartened. What many people don't tell you is that it's okay to move at your own pace. It's crucial to allow yourself the grace to take your time. Decluttering is not a race to the finish line. It's a gradual process, a series of small steps that add up to something meaningful. At times, it can feel like the clutter is never-ending, and you might wonder if you'll ever get through it all. But if you listen to your body and recognize your limits, you'll find the experience much more manageable. Trying to do too much in one sitting not only leads to mental and emotional fatigue but can also cause physical strain, which could result in injury. I've learned this the hard way, taking on too much only to feel burnt out and even more overwhelmed. I truly believe that the secret to success lies in small, consistent efforts. You might feel like you're not making a dent at first, but every little bit counts. It's far more rewarding to spend just an hour a day than to try to cram everything into one exhausting session. And don't underestimate the power of celebrating your victories, no matter how small they may seem. Clearing out a single drawer or tidying up a bookshelf might not feel like much, but it's progress. It's worth acknowledging and appreciating. A fellow forum member shared a wonderful habit of rewarding herself after each decluttering session. She would treat herself to a warm cup of tea and curl up with a good book, and that simple pleasure transformed her mindset. It turned the whole process into something that felt less like a tedious chore and more like a moment of self-care. Maybe you can do something similar. Find those little rewards that make the work feel more fulfilling. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. Enlisting the help of a friend or a family member can make a world of difference. Their support not only lightens the physical load but also provides emotional comfort. Having someone by your side can ease the feeling of being overwhelmed and make the task feel less like a burden. Together, you can share in the triumphs and the challenges, and that shared experience can turn decluttering into a much more manageable, even enjoyable, process. 6. Downsizing doesn't mean losing yourself. Downsizing doesn't have to be about losing yourself. It can be an incredibly empowering journey. One that helps you reconnect with the essence of who you are beyond the physical things that once defined your world. I understand how it feels to be hesitant about parting with belongings. After all, they carry memories, stories, and a piece of your identity. But I've come to believe that letting go of possessions isn't about erasing your past. It's about giving yourself the space to evolve and honor the person you are today and the person you are becoming. So often, we accumulate things over the years, mementos from various stages of life, gifts from loved ones, items we once thought we couldn't live without. As time passes, these things can start to feel like they're weighing us down, cluttering not just our homes but also our minds. When you downsize, it's an act of shedding that weight. It's an opportunity to pause and reflect. What truly defines me? What brings me joy now? It's not about discarding memories. It's about curating them. Choosing to keep only those things that truly resonate with your current self allows you to honor your past while making room for the life you want to live in this moment. Imagine it as a form of self-editing, like revising a chapter in a book. You're not throwing away your history. Instead, you're carefully selecting the parts of it that still serve a purpose or spark joy in your life. I know a man who shared how he went through his belongings, keeping only his favorite books. The rest, he donated. And in doing so, he created a cozy reading nook that became his sanctuary, a place of peace and reflection. His space transformed into an extension of who he is today, not a storage unit for years gone by. Decluttering can be liberating. It's not just about tidying up. It's about creating a space that reflects who you are now and what you truly value. It can even open the door to new opportunities, new hobbies, new experiences, new dreams. The beauty of downsizing lies in its ability to set you free from the clutter of the past and help you focus on the present and on what you want to nurture and embrace. It's about making room for the life you want to live now, not simply holding on to what used to be. So, if you're feeling overwhelmed by the idea of letting go, I encourage you to see it through a different lens. You're not losing yourself. You're rediscovering yourself, one thoughtfully chosen possession at a time. And in the process, you're creating a space that is truly yours. One that supports your values, your passions, and your dreams for the future. 7. Decluttering can be uplifting. Decluttering can be one of the most uplifting experiences, especially in later years. Though the process can be emotionally charged, many seniors discover that the act of letting go of things brings an unexpected sense of lightness and empowerment. It's not merely about clearing out old items. It's about making space, both physically and emotionally, for the future. I truly believe that every time we declutter, we release not just material things, but also the burdens of the past that can weigh us down. As you sift through belongings that once held significance, there's a bittersweet nostalgia, but also a profound sense of freedom. It's almost like shedding an old skin, creating room for a new, refreshed version of ourselves. What most people don't tell you, though, is the incredible joy and energy that can come from simplifying your environment. I have seen it time and time again. What starts as an overwhelming task often transforms into something deeply rewarding. The process allows you to reclaim your space, yes, but it also gives you back something far more valuable: peace of mind. There's a tranquility that arises when your living space mirrors your desire for calm. It's not just about what you let go of, but about what you gain. The sense of ease, the emotional lightness, and the subtle yet powerful freedom to focus on what truly matters to you. The joy of decluttering lies in the unexpected gifts that it brings. For one, you can begin to focus more on what you're gaining rather than what you're losing. Whether it's a renewed sense of purpose, a space that feels more welcoming, or the joy of giving to others, decluttering can be a source of fulfillment. I've heard many seniors say that giving away items they no longer need felt like giving a gift of life to someone else, like a small piece of themselves living in another. And then there's the newfound freedom to embrace new experiences. One senior wrote about how she found a second wind after decluttering, a burst of energy that led her to finally take up hobbies she had once loved but set aside long ago. There is something magical about clearing the physical clutter that can also clear the mental clutter, allowing us to reconnect with our passions and dreams. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. For some, decluttering their home helped them declutter their minds, opening the door to clarity and purpose they hadn't felt in years. This simplicity, this shedding of unnecessary weight, creates a space not just for objects, but for moments of joy, creativity, and connection. In the quiet of a simpler space, life becomes less about what we hold on to and more about what we choose to make room for. And that, in itself, is a beautiful way to live. 8. Sentimental items are the hardest, but not impossible. Sentimental items can be the toughest to part with, and yet, the process of letting go can bring so much peace and clarity. They are the treasures that carry the weight of years, of love, and of memories, each one wrapped in its own unique story. These items are not just things. They are echoes of the past, of moments lived, and people we've loved. It's no wonder they are the ones that often stall our decluttering process. The thought of throwing them away can feel like losing a piece of ourselves, like we're erasing the very essence of the people and experiences that shaped who we are. But here's a truth I've come to understand. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It's not about getting rid of memories, but about creating space to treasure them in a way that honors their significance, without letting them overwhelm us. Take, for instance, the artwork your children so lovingly created. It can be heartbreaking to think of parting with each piece. But imagine carefully selecting a few that capture the essence of their creativity and framing them with pride. Perhaps, digitizing the rest can preserve the memory without causing clutter. This is not about throwing things away. It's about choosing what holds the deepest meaning and finding a way to celebrate it. And then there are items like old greeting cards, trophies, or even furniture that once played such a vital role in your life. These items, too, can find a new purpose or a new home, where they might be appreciated as much as they were when they first arrived. You'd be surprised how free can feel to pass something on to someone else, knowing it will bring them as much joy as it once brought you. Here's something no one often mentions. The act of letting go can become a beautiful ritual, a way to honor what was and make space for what is to come. Some seniors have shared how they feel comforted by taking one final photograph of an item before they donate it, preserving the memory in a new form. Others find solace in writing a small note about the significance of an item, turning the farewell into a moment of gratitude rather than sorrow. This process, though emotional, is not just about loss. It's about celebrating what has shaped you and making room for the new chapters of your life. I once heard a woman speak about how she had kept her grandmother's quilt tucked away for years, until one day, she decided to hang it on her wall. It was no longer hidden away in a box. It was displayed in her home, honored and cherished, connecting her past to her present. There's such a profound sense of fulfillment in that, a way to keep the legacy alive without being burdened by things. It might help to think of sentimental items in categories: the must-keep treasures, the maybes, and the things you're ready to let go of. Don't feel rushed. Focus first on the most meaningful items, and allow yourself the grace to return to the maybes later. Decluttering these deeply emotional items is a journey, not a one-time task. It's okay to take your time. Be kind to yourself through the process. Remember, you're not erasing the past. You're curating it, choosing the pieces that speak to your heart and allowing you to live with them in a way that enhances your life today. There is beauty in the release, and even more beauty in the memories you choose to hold close. 9. Your health may impact your decluttering process. As we grow older, our bodies often remind us of their limits in ways we never imagined in our younger days. Reduced mobility, arthritis, fatigue, or chronic pain can turn the seemingly simple act of decluttering into a daunting task. You may find yourself reminiscing about a time when you could tackle an entire room in one day without a second thought, only to now feel exhausted after sorting a single shelf. It's a humbling reality that can stir up frustration, even sadness, but it's also an opportunity to show yourself patience and grace. Decluttering doesn't have to be a battle against your body. Instead, consider it an invitation to slow down and savor the process. It's okay to take your time, breaking tasks into smaller, manageable chunks with plenty of rest in between. What once felt like a race can become a meaningful journey, one where every drawer or box cleared represents not just physical space but also emotional freedom. This is also the perfect time to welcome tools and support into your life. A grabber can help you reach high shelves without strain, while lightweight, ergonomic bins can reduce pressure on your hands. Imagine turning what feels like a struggle into a smoother, even joyful experience. One senior described how hiring a professional organizer changed her outlook entirely. Together, they worked as a team, laughing, reminiscing over long-forgotten items, and sharing the emotional weight of the process. What could have been overwhelmingly turned into a treasured memory. Your health may not allow for the ambitious plans you once had, and that's okay. This stage of life isn't about proving what you can accomplish in a single day, but about embracing your rhythm and finding joy in the process. Remember, the goal isn't just to declutter your home, it's to create a space that reflects who you are now, in all your wisdom, resilience, and beauty. 10. You'll rediscover forgotten treasures. One of the most unexpected yet deeply rewarding aspects of decluttering is the moment you rediscover forgotten treasures. These can be anything: old photographs, handwritten letters, childhood mementos, or even practical items that you had intended to replace but never got around to. What most people don't warn you about is how profoundly delightful this journey can be. It's not just about tidying up. It's like embarking on a personal treasure hunt through your own life, uncovering pieces of your past that have been hidden away, waiting to be remembered. In these moments, you can't help but feel a sense of joy, even nostalgia, as you hold these items in your hands again. Each item, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, has a story to tell. It's almost as though these objects are little time capsules, helping you reconnect with moments that shaped you. Happy memories, old friendships, or simple joys from times gone by. You might find a forgotten birthday card, a trinket that reminds you of a loved one, or a forgotten hobby that once brought you so much joy. These discoveries have a way of bringing the past back to life, and in doing so, they fill you with an overwhelming sense of appreciation for your journey and all the beautiful moments you've lived. As you go through this process, take a moment to savor these rediscoveries. Consider setting aside a rediscovery box, a collection of items that make you smile or spark curiosity. Let these treasures remind you of who you've been and the joy you once felt, but don't let them distract you from your goal. Keep your momentum going, and allow these small pieces of your life to motivate you, not hinder you. When you uncover something truly special, think about framing it or finding a place to display it in your home, celebrating these treasures as a part of who you are today. By doing so, you honor your past while making room for the new memories you are sure to create. 11. Decluttering can strengthen relationships. Decluttering has the power to do so much more than just clear physical space. It can profoundly strengthen the bonds between family members. What most people don't realize is that this seemingly mundane task can create lasting memories and deeper connections. When you go through your belongings with your loved ones, you not only sort through old items but also relive precious moments from the past. It's an opportunity to share stories, pass down family heirlooms, and preserve the history that shaped your family. It's like opening a treasure chest of memories and emotions, each item holding a special meaning that can spark meaningful conversations. These moments can foster a sense of gratitude and mutual respect, making the experience more fulfilling than anyone might expect. One of the most beautiful aspects of decluttering is how it naturally becomes a family affair. Imagine spending a Saturday afternoon with your children or grandchildren, each of you carefully examining old photographs, letters, or trinkets. You share stories about your life and the items that once held significance, and it becomes less about cleaning and more about celebrating your journey together. A dear friend once shared how her grandchildren were fascinated by the stories she told while going through old belongings, and she realized that, in a way, they were learning more about her than they ever had before. It was no longer a chore, it became an opportunity to bond, laugh, cry, and make memories. It was a living, breathing testament to a life well lived, and in sharing it, her relationship with her family grew even stronger. Of course, as with any shared experience, it's important to communicate openly and set clear boundaries. Let your family know what you're comfortable with, especially when it comes to sentimental items. It's perfectly okay to ask for help with certain tasks, but it's equally important to make sure that you don't feel pressured to part with things that hold personal significance or that you're not ready to let go of yet. A senior woman I know was able to successfully navigate this process by gently setting limits when her family became too emotional about certain keepsakes. Her family came to understand that while the memories were precious, she was the one who had the final say in what to keep or let go. In the end, they respected her wishes, and the process of decluttering became something they all looked forward to, as it helped them gain a deeper understanding of one another's values, histories, and experiences. Decluttering can be a transformative experience when approached with love and understanding. It is not just about tidying up, it's about creating space for new memories, cherishing the old, and reaffirming the love that binds us together as families. Through these moments, you may find that the relationships you treasure grow stronger, more meaningful, and even more resilient. 12. Decluttering can highlight what's truly important. Decluttering can serve as a powerful reminder of what truly matters in life, often revealing that the things we treasure most aren't the expensive items or the ones with the highest value, but those that hold deep emotional significance. As you sift through your belongings, you might find yourself faced with memories, photographs, or mementos that resonate with a much greater value than anything that can be bought. It's in these moments of reflection that you realize how much you've accumulated, not just in material possessions, but in meaningful experiences and relationships. And it's in these moments that you are reminded to focus more on the intangible treasures, the bonds you've nurtured, the moments you've lived through, and the growth you've experienced along the way. What people don't often tell you is how decluttering can be so much more than just tidying up your space. It becomes a soft but powerful nudge toward living with intention, a call to step back, breathe, and appreciate what you already have. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by clutter, you begin to recognize that happiness doesn't stem from the accumulation of things, but rather from the simplicity of living with purpose, gratefulness, and joy in the present moment. It's a process of letting go, not just of things, but of old attachments that no longer serve you. Taking the time to declutter can be an invitation to reflect on your true priorities, what you value most, and what makes your heart feel at peace. One senior shared how she took this opportunity to create a legacy box, a collection of the most cherished items that represented her life's journey and the values she held dear. Each item in the box was a symbol of something that mattered deeply to her. Love, resilience, laughter, and those fleeting moments of pure joy. This act helped her to peacefully part with things that had once felt important but no longer held the same meaning. It was a cathartic experience, a way of honoring her past while making room for the future and letting go of things without guilt. This simple yet profound exercise reminded her that what she truly needed could never be found in things. It was already within her heart, in her memories, and in the way she chose to live her life. 13. You'll feel a ripple effect in other areas of life. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Decluttering is so much more than just tidying up your home. It's a transformative journey that ripples through every corner of your life, often in ways you never expected. As you begin to clear away physical clutter, you may find that this newfound sense of order seeps into other areas, like your schedule, your finances, and even your relationships. It's truly eye-opening to realize just how interconnected all these aspects of life are. There's a deep sense of freedom that comes with simplifying your surroundings, and what no one tells you is that this simplicity doesn't just stop with your belongings. It starts to affect your entire way of being. As you create space in your home, you might notice an unexpected clarity and intentionality in how you approach the day-to-day. Whether it's how you structure your time, how you manage your money, or how you nurture your connections. You become more mindful of the things that truly matter and begin to let go of what no longer serves you. This process can breathe new life into your daily routines, making everything feel more purposeful and less chaotic. One woman, a senior who decided to declutter her home, shared a deeply personal experience with me. She found herself not only organizing her belongings, but also tackling long overdue paperwork she had been avoiding for years. More than that, she started to reevaluate her commitments, letting go of unproductive ones that drained her energy. The act of decluttering her home gave her a renewed sense of purpose and control, something she hadn't realized she had lost in the first place. That feeling of freedom, of taking charge of your environment, is so powerful. If you're embarking on this journey, I'd encourage you to keep a journal. Document the small shifts in your mindset, the subtle changes in your habits, and the emotional growth that may come along with it. It's incredible to see how clearing the physical space can create room for emotional clarity and, ultimately, a better, more intentional life. As you simplify your physical environment, you'll soon realize just how much lighter and freer your heart can feel too. The ripple effect is real, and it's worth embracing. 14. You may need to learn to say no. Learning to say no can be one of the most freeing, yet difficult, things you'll need to do for your well-being, especially during the process of decluttering your home. It's a challenge many of us face, as we often find it hard to reject the well-meaning offers of friends, neighbors, or even family members who try to give us their unwanted items once they hear that we're simplifying our lives. We might feel guilty or even rude, but what no one tells you is just how crucial it is to learn how to say no, graciously but firmly, and truly mean it. The desire to be kind, to please others, and to avoid confrontation can make it all too easy to fall into the trap of accepting things out of politeness. But the truth is, every item you accept adds to the very clutter you're working so hard to eliminate. It's like taking a step backward when you're desperate to move forward. I've been there myself, swept up in the rush of social niceties, only to find my home even more overwhelmed than before. The emotional weight that extra stuff carries can be staggering. It's as if you're not just holding on to physical items, but to the baggage of past obligations and unspoken expectations. This is your life. This is your time to reclaim your space, and reclaiming it often means setting firm boundaries. It's about respecting your own needs and desires over the guilt of saying no. It's okay to prioritize your peace, your serenity, and your space. When you feel those internal whispers telling you to accept yet another item, pause and gently remind yourself that saying no to someone else is saying yes to your own mental and emotional freedom. A simple, "Thank you for thinking of me, but I'm trying to simplify my life right now," can be all it takes. And even though it might feel uncomfortable at first, there's a deep sense of relief in knowing that you're honoring your own needs. Ultimately, it's about embracing the idea that your peace of mind is worth protecting, and learning that it's okay to decline offers that don't align with the peaceful life you're creating. Trust me, as time goes on, the weight of that no will feel lighter, and the joy of a truly simplified space will outweigh any lingering guilt. 15. Create a vision for your space. Creating a vision for your space is truly transformative, especially when you're on a journey to declutter. It's so much easier to tackle the task when you know exactly what you're working toward, rather than just seeing it as a long list of things to give up. The truth is, what often gets overlooked in the decluttering process is the immense power of having a clear vision for your ideal space. It can become the driving force that keeps you motivated even when it feels overwhelming. Instead of fixating on what you're letting go of, focus on what you are gaining. Picture your home not just as a place, but as a sanctuary, a reflection of the life you're currently living and the life you want to live. Visualize it as a space where every corner holds meaning, comfort, and functionality. Perhaps you dream of having a cozy reading nook bathed in sunlight, a dedicated area for crafting where your creativity can flow freely, or just a more open and peaceful environment where you can move around with ease, without feeling burdened by clutter. Writing down this vision can serve as an anchor during the decluttering process. You don't have to do it all at once. Keeping that vision in your mind, or even creating a mood board, can help you stay focused and inspired, especially when the task seems like too much. I remember a story shared by a senior who found strength in creating a mood board. It became her source of inspiration and reminded her every day of why she was doing it. It wasn't just about cleaning up, it was about creating a space that spoke to her soul, a home where she could thrive. If you can embrace this emotional connection to your space, you'll find yourself decluttering with a sense of purpose and anticipation. This simple shift in perspective, where you're not just clearing out but also building a haven that serves you, can make all the difference. 16. There's no one-size-fits-all approach. When it comes to decluttering, it's important to remember that there is no universal solution. So much of the advice we hear is built on the assumption that everyone fits into the same mold, but the truth is that each person's journey is deeply personal and unique. There is no single right way to declutter, and that's perfectly okay. What often goes unsaid is that it's completely normal to take your time with the process, explore unconventional methods, or simply ignore advice that doesn't speak to your heart or suit your needs. Life isn't a race, and your path should be shaped by your individuality, by what feels authentic to you, not what society or trends dictate. Finding your rhythm in the decluttering process is essential. Perhaps you prefer to tackle one room at a time, rather than overloading yourself with the pressure to do everything all at once. You might find that you want to keep more possessions than the minimalist gurus recommend. And you know what? That's okay. Your space should reflect your values, not someone else's definition of perfect. It could even mean asking for help. There is no shame in reaching out to others for support. Sometimes, hiring someone to assist you can ease the emotional weight of the task, allowing you to focus on what truly matters. It's a journey of self-discovery and experimentation. Don't be afraid to try different methods, whether it's the popular KonMari method, the Swedish death cleaning approach, or perhaps a method entirely of your creation. It's not about following a set of rules. It's about finding what nurtures your soul. Trust yourself, trust your instincts. In the end, your process will be a reflection of you, a celebration of your life, your memories, and your growth. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment below to let me know that you are still here with me. I remember hearing from a senior who shared how freeing it was to create her method, a mix of reminiscing on cherished memories and slowly letting go over a year. That approach, to me, was so beautiful. It was gentle and kind, not just to her home, but to herself. Decluttering isn't just about cleaning a space. It's about permitting yourself to move forward in a way that feels right, to release what no longer serves you, and to honor your journey with grace and patience. Ultimately, it's about crafting a space that allows you to breathe, to feel at home with yourself, and to live a life that is yours alone. 17. Your needs may change over time. Your needs will inevitably shift and transform as time passes, and this is something that cannot be ignored. Decluttering is not just a one-time task. It's a living, breathing process that needs to evolve with you. As you grow and change, so do your preferences, your priorities, and ultimately, the things you own. An item you may have cherished today could very well feel out of place or unnecessary a year from now. The emotional connection you had with something once can fade, making it easier to let go. I've personally experienced this shift. What once seemed essential or full of sentimental value can, with time, lose its significance, leaving you with a sense of lightness and relief when it's gone. It's important to acknowledge that decluttering should never feel like a final destination, but rather a part of an ongoing journey of self-discovery and growth. It's almost like the act of decluttering mirrors the internal changes you go through. Life constantly evolves, and so should the space where you live. The space you call home should reflect who you are now, not just who you were in the past. Keeping unnecessary items around, even if they hold nostalgic value, can subtly weigh you down, both physically and mentally. One simple but powerful way to stay on top of this is by making decluttering a regular habit, something you do throughout the year, not just once and done. Scheduling a yearly check-in allows you to pause, reflect, and reassess what truly serves you now. It's like permitting yourself to release what no longer brings you joy, functionality, or meaning. Think of it as an act of self-love, a moment to prioritize yourself and your current state of being. I remember reading about a woman who made it a point to donate a bag of items every spring. This wasn't just about clearing clutter, it was about creating space for new experiences, for new energy to flow into her home and life. It's something so simple, yet incredibly effective. By making decluttering a routine part of her year, she kept her home feeling fresh, functional, and most importantly, aligned with her current life. This practice not only freed up space, but also helped her maintain a sense of mental clarity and balance. It was a reminder that change is inevitable, and it's okay to let go of what no longer serves you. It's a beautiful act of honoring the person you are today. As we wrap up today's video, I want to take a moment to reflect on everything we've discussed. Decluttering is more than just tidying up your space. It's a reflection of your personal growth and the changing needs of your life. It's about creating an environment that supports who you are today, not who you were yesterday. With a simple but impactful practice of regularly reassessing your belongings, you can ensure that your home continues to nurture you and evolve with you. So, what have you learned so far? Think about one thing from this video that you feel truly resonates with you, something that you can bring into practice in your own life. Maybe it's scheduling that yearly check-in to declutter, or the idea of releasing items that no longer serve you emotionally. Whatever it is, I'd love to hear from you. Please leave your comment below and share one insight that you plan to implement. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. I truly appreciate your support and can't wait to hear how you're going to make your space work for you. Until next time.